as it will be Aurelia. Aurelia left available, and yep, they just go straight into that one. So definitely another option to get very aggressive.
And this creates a situation for T1 where they have an incredible amount of side lane pressure if they can get that Aurelia ahead. I do wonder who's going to go where. I would honestly expect it to be the Aurelia on top, but with how it's looking right now, they're going to put Kana on the Renekton into the cannon, which I think you sacrifice a little of that matchup. That matchup is very playable for the cannon, but you do get a lot more threat in mid. As it looks like,
yep,
we'll stick with it.
Faker playing Aurelia in game number 1.
Whew.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's very nice to see. I'm excited. And, you know, here on the side of GenG, it is going to be, you know, once again, some scaling when it does come to BDD and Ruler, but also we do have the Kennen and the Lee Sin alongside a Thresh to be huge playmakers. They don't have a huge amount of hard engage, but if they can make it work with something like an Emperor's Divide, maybe they can get something going.
And that is something that GenG is going to have to fix. And when you fall behind against this T1 comp, which happens to a lot of teams when they're playing against T1, it's going to be really hard. As you pointed out, the lack of hard engage can be fixable when you have a decent amount of map control, but when that's gone, Faker is 1v1 pushing in a side lane, and the poke is flying around. It can be very hard to navigate this into the mid game. On the other hand, it's a lot of comfort for GenG, and we've seen when it comes to comfort and GenG, they are very often much further ahead of the power curve than you'd expect them to be, knowing the limits of the specific champions so incredibly well.
Yeah, so here we go. We're in game number 1. GenG versus T1, and again, I just hope it goes more than 3 games. Even a 3-1 is okay. Than BDD playing Azir. As we're not going to talk about that, we're going to talk about Renekton Italy as the flash comes in and Oder picks up first blood, gets the heal in, and a couple of ranged minions are trying to be a little bit cheeky, but they cannot take down the Nidalee. And that's the of course, I mean, there was a ward there, so he has full information that, yep, just got to be safe this time and flash away.
And I like this from GenG. I think that they have a lot more power available to them due to Faker's flash being used and the roam that comes through. He needs to let this wave get shoved in. The entirety of T1 is also roaming though, and their skirmishing power is considerable if they can set up without a good poke or a big ultimate, but you gotta respect GenG as well. A lot of ultimates available for them.
T1 sprinting up to this fight, and let's see it. Carrier's just gonna jump on in, but the box is getting so much value to Slicing Maelstrom as well. As here we go, frontlining are a bunch of these members of T1, but they can't get any kills. As Clid is in the backside threatening everybody. Owner not quite able to assassinate there in the front line, and here comes BDD as well. Kana doing a good job frontlining, but can't actually get anyone. Finally, they do pick off one, but at the end of the day, GenG get a bunch of kills plus the Rift Herald.
Cool, it's a close one. And in the end, it is GenG that...
But yeah, you gotta be careful, and you know, I was surprised actually that both teams really forced extremely hard onto the Rift Herald, but T1 wanting to keep up their momentum, and GenG, after getting Faker's flash, they felt strong enough to do it with the early roam from Cryo from the bottom side. So it kind of makes sense when you see what was happening in the game, but there was also the potential for Ruler to just sit bot, get a couple of plates by himself, as the Aphelios with Crescendum. Didn't end up seeing that, and that means we do get more action.
And this is the unfortunate reality of being Rascal.
Okay, this time you don't have your flash, but he is Aurelia. Gets the stun onto Clid, as now he is going to jump in the back. And here comes Life and Ruler as well. So at the end of the day, Faker just left a little bit out to dry. Nobody here on the side of T1, and GenG are going to get a lot of value here in the mid lane.
Yeah, and T1. The one upside of this is that, of course, T1 was able to find a plate on top side. So it's somewhat mitigated, but the kill on Faker, second time this has happened, and BDG is clearly saying, yeah, nice Aurelia pick, but as long as you don't have flash, I will shuffle you into my team. And there's not a lot of counterplay available as Kana pops Dominus.
Yeah, looking to get in there. The Lightning Rush used as the Slicing Maelstrom, not going to break through the Dominus, but he has another Lightning Rush, and Kana can't quite catch up. So it will be the Q that comes in, and Kana will be pushed away.
or later. They're shoved into their turret. They need to clear the way first before they can roam up.
Oh, by the way, feel like I've seen this before. Not sure exactly where. Faker uses his flash, but he's still dead. And now he's 0-3. So all that excitement for Faker's Aurelia, it slowly begins to go out the window.
They're camping in, and it's working. Nothing to be done here. Again, you see on cooldown, literally, BDD goes in, uses his ultimate, and the problem with this is that without the Aurelia, T1 loses so much pressure in the middle of the map because it is the Aurelia that brings an incredible amount of damage. And
Going for
no,
these
100%.
plays.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, we don't really have an answer unless Owner spends more time in the mid lane. That's really what it comes down to, I would suppose.
And is that while I think that comp in 5v5 doesn't scale that well in terms of raw damage, it definitely does if you can set up, but I don't think going for a Rift Herald when the entirety of GenG is there is a good call.
No, and here comes BDD. I don't even know if they saw this teleport. Here we go again. The flash comes in, predictive, and he's going to get Teddy. And how about a perfect follow-up on the death sentence? Now we got a couple people coming in, but Owner's going to get kicked in. No follow-up damage, but that is going to be fine. As now coming in here is Rascal looking for the follow-up kill, and GenG are just running T1 around the map here in game number 1. Kana might survive with the help of the blast plant, but still so much value straight goes into the pockets of GenG.
And that is more kills going to GenG, a second Herald going to GenG, and sure, the second Herald not always the best.
And everybody's happy on the side of GenG. I mean, things are going swimmingly outside of the first gank onto Rascal. That's
Attempted, but not actually working out.
Oh, he actually hit him! And now we have the blast plant, and Owner is just done, as he does not have his flash, and BDD picks up his third kill. 303 in this one, and just gifted it by Life, who's okay. We might have the Aurelia flank. Life in an awkward position here. The teleport is coming in. There's only 3 members of GenG right now. We got Baron going on, I believe, as Azir, BDD, and Clint are doing Baron. Ruler and Rascal get away, and yes, Life will go down. But take a look at this. And now you just teleport up to the top side. And what are you gonna do? Send in Faker alone on his teleport? No, of course not. Doesn't look like they have any idea. And GenG, they sacrifice their support for a Baron at 21 minutes.
You'll take that trade, Valdez. That is... Him and Lee able to sustain for the damage that Baron does, then just to make sure that everything goes well. Rascal also teleporting over in case that Faker tries to go for a hero play. And if you got Soul point here, as T1 maybe you'll feel a little bit better about it. But one, it's the Cloud Soul.
The Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas here, back again at the LCK on Summoner's Rift. And then in addition to that, GenG got a Drake. Of course. So any possibility that you have of possibly contesting.
Here we go. Carrier's got a nice little engage. That's a lot of damage, but BDD survives! Oh, I say that, and then he does die, actually. The shutdown does go the way of the Nidalee. Clint, not the best forward standing position here, nearly dies himself. Keep in mind that GenG did not have their cannon, so at the end of the day, that is a pretty nice trade here for T1, taking down the shutdown of BDD at least.
Pretty sure BDD walks 3k in the lead now, as they just get over. Rascal doesn't have teleport.
Great reaction from Teddy.
Yeah, really nicely done. And it's still salvaged, which is kind of nice. But in the end, it's not going to be very eventful for the actual course of the game. Still pick up the side, the turret in the side.
Once again, GenG, there's no Baron here, but they're still going to just go for a little adventure through the enemy jungle. It's pretty much their jungle at this point with how far they are ahead. They're getting the red buff here now for the Fed Aphelios. Still waiting on the third item, just has a BF sword for now, and a dagger. Still try to push, but you know, a couple of spears. The Nidalee still exists in this game, and it looks like he was able to pick up an alternator after that shutdown. And so, Owner pretty happy himself, getting a nice amount of damage done and keeping them at bay.
And here you see that even with the deficit that they find themselves in, there's still some of the power left that this T1 comp has. I think the bigger issue is it's not going to be Owner and Teddy.
In condition, just in case they need it. And then, of course, move on over to the Baron. I do like that T1 are moving into the Baron River as this is happening, predicting the Drake take and potentially trying to set up Vision or a pick of their own.
Agree with you there. Got to spot him, but BD shouldn't be too scared with the amount of mobility and his flash still available. Drake goes over. T1 makes use of the little amount of space that provides them with. And I wonder. I look at the T1 comp, and obviously it is a really rough game to come back from. Teddy is now hit his 3-item spike. Went for also a threat. So yeah, that makes it worse.
Yeah.
That's everyone is terrifying.
Yeah, it's crazy what Kennen can do with 3 items, just a Shuriken and a W away.
Now what?
And yeah, I mean, it's Aphelios and it's Azir. As Owner trying to get in, Klid says no to that. Immediately kicks, and now, you know, why not just take an objective? We got the crash down to the Magnet Storm, though, as the stopwatch is huge to keep life alive. And it doesn't look like they have enough damage, although you see Kana's trying to get it done. Teddy with a nice couple of moves, but Ruler is the real problem here. He's still alive with full health, full mana, and even BDD is going to live after his own Zhonya's. And now they can just waltz down the mid lane and do whatever they want.
And they get the Baron, they get the fight, and I don't think that T1 is going to be able to recuperate from this one. Don't know if they can quite end. Might be a possibility here. It's only Owner and Carrier that are going to be up, and they go for turrets very quickly. With BDD's helper as low as it is, maybe they want to go back. Do see some pings on the red buff, so I think that GenG is going to play it safer. And honestly, why wouldn't you? If you see the amount of dominance that they have, and even though this is a gorgeous engage from Carrier here, it ties into the issue that we set up earlier. It doesn't matter if you don't get everyone. And the only one that you really get here, yeah, it's nice that you get Klid, that life goes low immediately, but Rascal can ult immediately Zhonya's. Ruler, not afraid at all. BD, not hit at all. And as long as those two stay alive with some semblance of the Klid or the Fresh in terms of defense, there's no play.
He wanted the quadruple.
Until he's hit 5. Gotta hit that benchmark, and now sieging with this composition, a lot of range available for GenG. Gonna use these cannon waves, mid pushing in already. And I don't know how you can defend there as T1 if that last engage from Carrier, beautiful as it was, wasn't enough. I don't know if anything is going to be Valdez.
Yeah, I mean, your only real option is you have to catch Ruler and blow him up, I would imagine. And then, even then, Rascal and BDD do so much damage at this point that, yeah, maybe you need all 5 of them. As, okay, Bakery's gonna find a little angle here on the Klid, just gets kicked immediately into all the damage of GenG and just gets punished. Tries to recreate the BDD flank, doesn't quite work out as well when you're this far behind. As, yeah, GenG's gonna push on in and are looking to take down the Nexus turrets. That Moonlight Vigil, we'll just pretend that didn't happen. Ruler's had a good game outside of that one maneuver. As the play is here, the Magnet Storm does nothing, and Teddy, he can't even win against the Sand Soldiers right now. As in we go, Rascal diving, trying to go for a little bit of mental warfare. He's, of course, got 2 stasises ready to go for the dive, and GenG